Hello, this is Paul with the Oaken Knight. Welcome back to my channel for the playthrough of Turn 3 of Holland 44. We will pick up the action with the Allied movement phase after having rolled clear weather for the turn and placed the Allied paradrops and reinforcements along with the Germans that are continuing to show up scattered all around the edge of the map. Here we go, and let's begin the Allied move. 30th Corps movement was fairly mundane, but there are a couple of interesting things I can show you. First is that over here we start seeing the 50th Division forming Zoc bonds along the edge of the map. And that's basically to cordon off this area, keep any Germans in Area A from re-entering the map and causing any trouble. Now, both of there are two areas. There's an area on each side of the map, Area A and Area L, that are adjacent to the actual 30 Corps and associated British Corps entrance areas. These areas that the Germans have, they basically are only available to the Germans turns 1 through 6. After turn 7, the Allies control them with off-map resources. So, you know, after starting at turn 7, these 50th Division guys can start moving up the line and starting to cordon off the Area B entry area. And so that way we can keep the Germans under control as far as how menacing they're going to be trying to interdict the supply line down Hell's Highway going all the way to 30 Corps as far as it gets. Over here we simply had British took advantage of this road where they were able to come up and get resources over onto the side of Hell's Highway to kind of broaden it. The 3rd Corps boundary ends right here, so they're perfectly fine coming out this way. The Corps boundary no longer applies once you get beyond that point. We had reinforcements, the 11th Armored Division that's coming in off map, and they're going to go ahead and continue to exert their influence, probably starting next turn when they get somewhere useful. Other than that, I haven't figured out the attacks yet, but there's going to be an attack here, probably an attack there, and that's probably about it. I'll figure it out. I'll get it on map. Since we got clear weather, we got two air units to deal with, which is always a good thing. Over here, I think it would be worthwhile to go ahead and do this on camera. We've got the 101st doing their movements. Now, as I said, one of the reasons why we wanted to kick this guy back is so that we could start taking on the defenses of Eindhoven before something worse shows up. And so let's go ahead and start that process. This is a leg unit, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3. Oops, well, we revealed it. We're going to attack him in the attack turn. That's 3. And so, yeah, well, he's a 0. He's going to win that attack. Isn't that good? Let's see. Next, that bridge is blown. That doesn't help us. It's a canal. So I think maybe we'll do that. We can do a tactical move over the canal. So that's 1, 2. Let's see. I think maybe we want to make contact with these Germans to keep them from doing anything creative. Keep these guys from doing anything creative. Keep these guys from doing anything creative. And down the line. Right now, I think a static line is perfectly fine for the Allies. Let's see, what else we got? Well, we've got 2 guys heading toward Eindhoven. That's not a bad thing. I don't really want to take on that question mark. He might not be with a 1-point breakdown unit. I think maybe we'll just simply put a Zoc over there. We're not going to attack him. We're not going to walk on top of him to reveal him. So we're just going to let that be. We've got a breakdown unit. Well, that's a blown bridge. Blown bridge. We don't have any repair units. The Germans can't use it. They're not going to repair it. So I think maybe we go ahead and take this breakdown unit 1, 2, 3 and reintegrate him into the parent unit. let's take care of that. And he's done. And this guy, you know, maybe we do the opposite. We take this guy out. It's a small risk, but hey, that's what we're paid for. We're going to go ahead and put a breakdown unit and throw it over into the town here. That town is doubles him on defense, so if that 353 were to try to do something, it's going to be a 3-2 with a, so it's 1-1 with a shift down for the quality of the paratroopers. So it's going to be a 1-2. There's no artillery in the immediate area. I really don't think he's going to try that. So that would be, oh, let's see, we got one more. Oh, we got a couple more. Okay, we got Mr. Scattered here. Well, he can just kind of move up to the bridge area. The 353, we're still kind of okay, and we could have, let's see, do we have what, more? Yes, we have more 101st that can come on with if we get decent weather next turn. So we could have more guys showing up. So let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with extended move. We can do that. We didn't end up next to anybody. We didn't enter any socks or anything, so that's all good. Okay. What else can we do? I think, well, we got the 80-second zone. So let's take a look at that. Maybe there's something good we can do down here. Well, I'm thinking that with those British reinforcements, maybe the best thing is just to use them defensively right now. So but at least it frees up some of these 82nd Division guys to go ahead and go on the attack for a change. Let's give it a shot. Let me see. Well, all right. This guy is just going to walk over onto this question mark unit and reveal him and see what he is. All right, he's a 2-point, basically anti-tank unit looking something like an 88. Flak, yeah, it's an 88. All right, so he's a 2-point on defense, but he's not infantry, so he's not doubled. So he's going to be a flat 2. We have 4 points on the attack, and we're elite, and they're not. So it's 2-1, one shift in our favor. It's going to be 3-1. We're not going to use any artillery on this. We're just going to do a straight up 3-1 and see what damage we can cause. Here we go. Oh, it's a 1. It's a 1. Oh, no. Oh, no. And engaged. All right, well, it's annoying. We haven't seen an engaged result before. Basically, what an engaged result does is that it kind of pins the defender in place, sort of. He can only use tactical movement. If he goes back 1, he remains with the engagement counter. If he goes back 2, or he gets disrupted. And that's really about it. He's under no obligation to attack, is my reading of the rule. And well, that's that. All right, we got an engagement marker. Let's go ahead and stick it on this guy. So, a little unfortunate. So yet there's one more guy there that we have to root out. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, well, I think we got a bridge that we control here. Let's walk over the bridge and see what this guy is. Same deal. Okay. Nothing easy. So, well, same thing all over again. It's going to be a 3-1. Hopefully we get better than a 1. That would be a nice thing. How about a 4? All right. So what does a 4 do for us on 3-1? 4 is defender retreat. All righty. Well, he's a normal unit. He has no artillery support, so he could try a determined defense. According to the determined defense table, he would be in a city, which is a good thing. Well, he stands a pretty good chance of staying. If he only 1 chance of taking, or 2 chances of taking a hit, 4 chances of staying. Oh, it's 50-50. He has no pluses. He has 3 chances of taking a hit. He's only a 1-step unit. He could die. He's a question mark, guys. I'm willing to take chances with. Let's give it a shot. So let's say he's going to do a determined defense in the city, hoping for something good. He rolls a 3. Determined defense in the city with a 3. Well, he stays, but he also dies. So up he comes. He goes away, does no damage, and this guy's going to take the hex. So, you roll the dice, you take your chances. This time it didn't work for the Germans. Um, let's see. That's his move, so he's done. He's done. Um, I think. Well, we absolutely want somebody covering the bridge, so let's just go over to the bridge. I'm just paranoid about things like that. That's the only way over this canal that we have for sure. I think we're going to start cordoning off the area, getting some more support, controlling this road. Let us, we're kind of in the line of fire here. Let's go over, let's go back here. In the town, that may not be good for resupply. I'll have to look that up, but for right now, I think that's the right thing to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we can eventually shoot at 2 of those guys. We can advance later if we need to with the artillery. We have 1 British disrupted. Let us he'll tactical move to the board edge. This guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, we got a Zoc to deal with here, so we're going to buck up on this guy, but it frees up areas for the Americans. We now have another unit that we can deploy over to where we need to be, which is over here. Now, those guys that discovered the question mark guys do not get to participate in an attack. We have one of these 2 guys and that guy who have not participated in an attack yet, so I'll figure that out and come back with it, but it's a 2-point unit. That's likely. We may whack that guy. I think that would be a good thing to do. But for now, I'm gonna figure out the attacks offline. For now, I'm gonna scooch us over to the British Airborne and let's see what they're about. Well, I don't think they're about attacking. That much I'm pretty sure of. Now, the way this works is that the airborne, all 3 airborne divisions are considered to be in supply as far as their supply head. That's this thing. Through turn 5. After that they're considered to be depleted, and all their attacks are halved. So really, what it comes down to is the paratroopers, until the 30th Corps links up with them, can attack for the first 5 turns of the game, and after that, they're probably just sitting there and hanging on to the ground that they've already captured. So, what are we going to do here? Well, I see no reason not to advance. We still have a Zoc bond there. This guy's going to hold the fort. He's going to hold the fort. He's kind of small. I think it would be good to get something bigger there, but for now it's what we have. I think I don't like the idea of standing in the open here. The Germans are eventually going to get some armor. Even junky armor is good when you are sitting in the open field without any armor of your own. We're going to keep Zoc bonding over here. Okay. And let's see. I think it might be good to scooch over here. When you move 1 hex with an artillery piece, you don't disrupt it. If you move 2, you do. And to move farther than that, you need to commit one of your mobilization units. All right, we have 1 guy here who's good to go. I really don't like having that 2-point unit there. So if we can go 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, that's a road, so we're not really going through the woods. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was important because, remember, when you go through your 3rd wood hex, you have to pay an extra point. Oh, we still can't get here because we're going into a Zoc. All right, so we're going to just kind of get in the neighborhood. These guys, I think they can kind of, well, we certainly don't need them here. I think one of them we're going to kind of 1, 2. He's scattered, so he can only move tactical move, 2 points. He'll hang around over there. Colonel Frost, God love you. Oh, it's already looking painful, and it's going to get much worse than this. He might have a hard time hanging on to the place. We'll see. All right. That's it. What I'm going to do is figure out combat odds wherever the Allies can afford to attack, and I'm going to show you how that's going to unfold in a moment. All right, over to 30 Corps. 2 things of note. One is that I had forgotten about the bridge rebuilding in the British bridging phase. When there's 4 intervening hexes between a German unit and a blown bridge, the Allies get to begin reconstruction without a bridging unit. So all these bridges that are up and down the initial canal are all, the Germans have been shushed back farther than the requirement at this point. So reconstruction on all of those bridges has begun. I had also forgot to move the British reinforcements, so you can see the conga line there. I'll go ahead and taken care of that. Up here, remember we said with clear weather, we get the fighter bombers. So we have a 6-1 and a 7-1 on the 2 forces opposing the British Guards unit. So let's go for the 6-1. That's like I like to keep the best for last, right? Okay, 6-1. Let's see what we do. Ooh, a 6. Well, that's good. That's going to do a loss. Maybe that's going to be all it takes. Yes, this guy's dead. He's only got 1 step. And take the air unit out of there. Get that out of there. Okay. We get a 2 hex advance, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Let's just move up and make the Germans worried. Sometimes, that's not a Zachbahn. That German unit could advance. Sometimes, as a delaying tactic, that's good. I mean, the guy is kind of, he's going to get killed, but it's going to take concentration of force and time to do it. Sometimes that's all you need to do as the German. But at this point, if he loses that guy, there's really not a whole lot over there except for guys that have been shushed off the map. So I'm not too worried about that. The orange die is actually a 7-1. That's what I use to denote, +6. So we got 7-1 on this. Let's see what we do. 5. All right. 7-1, 5. Well, that's another DS. Again, that's the best result possible other than a 10-1 automatic victory. All right. He's only a 1-step unit. He's good and dead. We are on a road. We can get to go 3 hexes, possibly continue an attack, although it'll be too thin to do that. So I think we're just going to go down 1, 2, 3 down the road. We have to spread out to take that extra hex. We're going to do that. 2 hexes. He can go here, and the rest of the guys are just going to move up. I think he was in the attack too, so let's move him up. So we're getting down Hell's Highway. We are at the outskirts of Eindhoven. Very good. All right, we have the American, and if you remember, I accidentally flipped it. We know that it is a nothing burger. It's a 0. We just come in. There's no bridge to blow there, so the American is going to come in and take the first hex of Eindhoven, starting to put pressure on these guys. They might just decide to up and leave, or on the other hand, that maybe that tank is trapped. We'll see. All right. Now we're going to go over to the 82nd and take care of business down here. We had 2 units that moved up to the anti-tank unit that we had discovered and bounced off of during a move, but now it's the combat phase. The guys who did the move, they cannot do an attack, but the 2 other guys sure can. So we got a 5-1 because again he is not an infantry unit in that city, so he's not doubled. He's only 2 points. We have 8, and that's going to be 8 to 2. That's 4-1 with a shift up for quality. All goodness. 5-1. A 5. All right. 5-1. D1. D1. Okay, well, he is very conveniently dead. So let's take him. D1. He goes away. We're going to go in there. And that's the way it goes. Boom, boom. Okay. Lastly, we have a 3-to-1, and I think it was worth taking this. This one was a question. Remember Comp Group Kraft? Well, he managed to scooch out here. I think we would like to scooch him a little farther. So we're actually going to take this attack. The raw odds are 2-to-1. I threw in the artillery to make it 3-to-1. Hopefully that will do the trick. So here we go. Oh, I've won. Horrendous. Horrendous. It's an engaged. Okay. Well, the same worthless result we had at the other place. So, engaged. Well, we didn't hurt ourselves. We didn't help ourselves. It's just kind of, it is what it is. All right. That's the end of the combat phase. We're up to the recovery phase. Again, you don't need to watch me pick up counters. Supply phase. Everybody's in supply. That will be the end of the Allied turn 3. So let me go ahead and clean things up, and we will start with the Germans. Well, the Germans begin with the artillery resupply phase. They haven't fired any artillery, so there's nothing to resupply. Onto the bridge phase, and I think we have a couple to deal with. Right here we have an Allied unit next to a German unit next to a bridge in the German bridge blowing phase. I believe that meets the definition, so let's go ahead and try to blow the bridge. It is a 2, and as happened once before, this bridge they've attempted to blow the bridge. They have not blown the bridge. The Allies are not next to it, so they don't get to take it yet, but the Germans have to spend another bridge phase on turn 4 to rewire the bridge to try again on turn 5. I don't think they're going to be able to do that, but we'll see. And I think we got another one. We've got another one here in Nijmegen. If you look, same kind of thing. We've got Americans next to a bridge hex with Germans next to the bridge. This railroad bridge. The road bridge is unblowable. It's orange. The railroad bridge is blowable. It's yellow because it cannot be rebuilt. I'd say I could argue both ways on whether to do it or not, but hey, we like blowing things up. So let's blow this bridge up and see if we can pull it off. A 2. Well, same answer as before. We have attempted to blow the bridge. We have been unsuccessful in blowing the bridge. So that means that the explosives have been used. The bridge has to be rewired in a future bridging phase for the Germans, and then they get to try again the turn after that. So we had 2 shots, and we did not make either one. All right, so that's the German bridging phase. They have no paratroopers. Now they get to move. I'm going to take this offline as I've been doing, and anything interesting I will go ahead and show you on camera. Well, let's see. The Germans have completed their move, and over at the east end of the field, they have continued their retreat away from the advancing Guards Armored Division, away from 30 Corps, and they've kind of established beginnings of a line. That line is going to continue to fall back till it gets behind this canal, and then it's going to be kind of a tough obstacle to cross. This is a victory city that always helps the Allies in terms of it reduces the number of non-airborne units that have to cross over towards Arnhem to win the game. So the more of those you have, the less hard work you have to do moving units across the river into Germany. Let's see. They have continued to pressure. They have continued to pressure Eindhoven, and this armored unit could not get away. Unless some miracle happens, it's gonna die over here. I thought of doing a tactical move over to here, but if you look at the unit, you're gonna see it's got that white border around it, which means that it does not have a zone of control. So it really wouldn't stop the Allies. I was thinking maybe they could stop them from going over the bridge and getting over in here and using that road. But without a zone of control, it won't even do that. It'll just die all that much easier. So we're going to leave him there, and he'll have his glory ride. The Germans pretty much completed their withdrawal off the map in the western area, and at the same time have continued to form a line over here to put pressure on the 101st. So far, there's no attacking going on, but I have a feeling that's going to come more sooner than later. To the east, we have the beginnings of a line forming behind the canal. We have our first artillery unit showing up, so that's going to be a good thing. I pulled this guy back into the town. That's going to double his defense, so there's nothing bad there. We had one more of the random units show up. So next turn, the last guy is going to be on automatic entry on turn 4. We had the guy that came across the ferry over here. We had him run down the road and actually reinforce Nijmegen. So now the German defense in Nijmegen is starting to stiffen up, and we'll see if the 82nd is capable of breaking through, or as happened historically, are they still going to be fighting it out when the 30th Corps shows up? In the meantime, if they liked it the first time, they'll love it the second time. Here comes another unit over the ferry with a third waiting in the wings. So we're going to continue to put these small units out there, but I think some of these guys are going to have to protect these ferries that are a little farther down the line to make sure there's no shenanigans happening over there. Over to Arnhem. Basically, nothing's really much has happened. We have a 2-to-1 on Colonel Frost, but I think I'm going to wait until the artillery shows up and start banging away at 3-to-1. That could very well take the hex in 2 or 3 turns. So we'll see. I'm not optimistic about Colonel Frost hanging on to Arnhem Bridge as long as he did historically. And if he folds too fast, that means these Germans are free to go down Hell's Highway over to Nijmegen, which is just down the pike. The only thing stopping that is Colonel Frost. Okay, that is the German moves, and the next thing would be combat, of which there is none. Recovery, pick up markers, supply phase. Okay, all we got left then is the traffic phase for the Germans in turn 3. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll just get the camera set so we can see a little more. All right, we have 2 markers to place. We have we have 1 marker to place. That's right, because nothing picked up last turn, if you remember. Here's the leading edge, the bleeding edge of the British. So we're going to pop one right behind him, and then we're going to roll 2 dice and see if anything picks up. A 5 and a 6. Well, let me see. I see a 5 here, and that guy we just popped down is a 6. So both these guys pick up, and they go into the holding area for the traffic markers. They will come down again next turn. In the meantime, there's going to be 3 markers down. These markers are starting to look maybe a little stale. They're kind of far back. Well, there's nothing the German can do. The only way those things ever pick up is that you roll the right number, and then you get to pick it up. Then you have to pick it up. Other than that, they will stay there until their number comes up. They roll 2 dice a turn, and it takes as long as it takes. All right, well, that's it for turn 3. And I think I'm going to call it a wrap on this video. Thank you for watching our continuing playthrough of Holland 44 by GMT Games. If you liked it, consider hitting the subscribe button on your screen to subscribe to The Oaken Knight.